I'm now being called a second-time defender, not offender. It was my second time to be abducted in a very short time by both the governments of Kenya and Uganda. I came here not prepared to do any written speech, but just to speak from my heart and to thank first you guys for the brilliant work you're doing towards defending the rights of people, ordinary citizens. Without the voice of the media, we would not know what's happening in Tanzania, we would not know what's happening in Uganda. So I think the fourth estate has become the voice of the people, the true voice of the people, and that's why I am honored to be here to speak to you today. I also wish to thank the human rights fraternity, the civil society. The civil society in Kenya has been operating under a lot of threats from the state, but be it as it may, they have provided us with a lot of support when the time comes. For instance, we've been getting a lot of legal support for the things that we do, because most of the times we find ourselves on the other side of the law when you're challenging those who are oppressing the people. So I want to thank the civil society, Vocal Africa, Amnesty International, Kenya Human Rights Commission, Defenders Coalition, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, and there are so many other organizations I may not mention, but they are all part of this movement, for the support that you give the human rights defenders. I am a Kenyan citizen, and all we did was we planned to go and visit Uganda. It's been 15 years since I was in Uganda, and being an East African citizen, we agreed that we should go and see what's happening there. Both look at the opportunities available for business, because we are also entrepreneurs in our country, and we have friends who are entrepreneurs in Uganda. I remember during COVID-19, I was able to supply COVID masks in Uganda with the help of a Ugandan businessman. So our trip going to Uganda was not as such political, though we agreed that as we are there, we had to join our comrades from the NUP party who are launching a manifesto in Jinja. So we spent the night in Jinja town, and the following morning agreed to participate in that event to view what His Excellency Robert Chagulanyi was going to present as his manifesto to the people of Uganda. And I was very honored to share a podium with the team that evening when we campaigned. Thereafter, we departed going to Kampala for other activities. But as we got to Kampala, the vehicle had a problem, and we parked the vehicle at the petrol station called Starbucks. This fuel station is actually owned by the President of Kenya. I got to know about this later, but I didn't know that at the time. So that's why we parked the vehicle overnight, for us to come and pick it in the morning to fix it as we continue with our journey. But at 10 o'clock in the morning, about 7 armed men, heavily armed military men, confronted us, and one of them introduced himself as an officer and said that we need to go with, you need to come with us. And when I saw the formation, I knew that we have to comply, otherwise we might even expose ourselves to more danger. And that was the first day of the abduction. We call it an abduction because from the moment they picked us to the moment they released us, the Ugandan government has been denying having us in custody. And perhaps this opportunity would be for me to plead to demand from the Ugandan government to release all the political prisoners that they're still holding in the camps. We have the brother to the Internal Affairs Minister. The brother, his own brother, the Minister for Internal Affairs, Mutafiri, is looking for his brother. He was my bedmate. His brother has been in the same place for 4 months. The family doesn't know where he is. They think he's dead. I left him in the cell, and he asked me, Bob, he asked me to talk to you to make sure the message gets to the president, because the president is not aware about some of these things. It is the son, Muhozi, who is undertaking these crimes against humanity. They have been undertaken at the Special Forces Command Center in Serakasenyi. That is a training ground for the presidential security team. And they call themselves next to none, because they are next to none. They don't take command from any other, either the judiciary, whether it's parliament, whether it's the executive. So this is an armed militia that is operating under the General Muhozi. And there's so many Ugandans. I left there over 150 of them in custody. People who are serving, who have been kept without going through any court process. They have been detained, some of them up to a year. That is what is calling the fridge, if you want to know what the fridge is. So there are some people who are actually in the freezer, not in the fridge. And as a human rights issue, these people have no cases. Most of them, they've been kept there for political reasons. And we have to come in now as human rights defenders and also say that we should not associate ourselves with such oppressive regimes, starting with Tanzania. And we are hoping on the December 9th, they have declared it an Independence Day. Also in Kenya, we are declaring December 9th to be a total shutdown. We are going to stand in solidarity with our brothers in Tanzania, and we are going to shut our borders in Kenya in solidarity with Tanzania. The Tanzanian embassy, we are actually calling for it to be closed down immediately until further notice. And we are asking our legislators in parliament to push this motion, just like the South Africans did when there was an issue between Palestine and Israel. Okay, they closed the embassy of Israel. Why? Because they were collaborating with our Palestinians to massacre people in Palestine. The same thing is happening in Tanzania. What are we doing as Kenyans? What are we doing as Kenyans for our brothers? So let us wake up, let us rise up, and we realize that the three governments are collaborating between Museveni, our President Ruto, and Samia Suluhu. Our arrest was a coordinated arrest between the Kenyan government. They knew we were crossing over into Tanzania. They raised the alarm there, and those guys did the dirty job for them. So we as a people have decided we are going to unite across borders between the Tanzanian people, the East African community, and to ensure that we put a check on the excesses of these governments. We want governments that are led by the values of human rights at the center of every administration. And we shall continue to fight for these rights for as long as we're alive. Thank you.